So what we're here to, sorry, we are recording, by the way. Um, so what we're here to do this evening is the third of four sessions around our participatory budgeting project that we have launched early this month in May as part of our Centennial celebration series. Tonight, there are three things that we're asking of you, actually two. The third one you'll be doing more of tomorrow. One, listen to three proposals very thoughtfully, very carefully, and then ask questions and provide feedback to the presenters. And you'll be able to do that within the chat function. In order to avoid crosstalk or background chatter, my colleague Paris, who will introduce herself and shortly, will be monitoring the chat as well as my other colleague Mawadi. So I would ask for Paris, if you don't mind. I know you're letting people
Yep.
in. Do you mind introducing yourself, please?
Yeah. Hello, everybody. I'm Paris Babers. I'm the Events and Communications Manager at CNYCF. And I'll just be fielding all the Q&As and questions you guys may have. We'll have you add it in the chat and we'll field them for you. So if you need anything on the tech end, I'm here.
Thank you. And Mawadi?
Hello,
Hello.
my name is
Oh,
Muade.
got a little echo.
That didn't work.
It's okay.
Here we go. Okay. Hello, my name is Muade, and I am the contractor for outreach and community engagement with the Central New York Community Foundation. I am a tabler, and so I go around to different counties, tabling at events. And if you would like to have me at your event, I'm more than interested in attending. I have reached out to people across all of the 5 counties that the Community Foundation serves, and I will also be here assisting Kiana today. And I hope that the event goes well. Thank you.
Thank you, Mawadi. Thank you, Paris. Okay. Um, so there are three proposals. I see we already got some questions in the chat. Let's get started. So again, we're going to just set the tone so that we understand that this is respectful space and that you're going to hear three different proposals. I would ask everyone to please be kind and keep your mics muted. Again, we don't want the crosstalk or the background chatter. We want to give our presenters the best possible opportunity to present their proposals. Reflectively listen. But you will have an opportunity to provide feedback and also to provide questions using the chat feature and function. Both myself, Paris, and Mawadi will be monitoring that. And that chat feature, you'll be able to do that after each of the presenters' proposals. So you'll be able to ask questions through that and they'll be able to respond after they've done their presentation. Please make sure that you understand we're valuing different perspectives and thoughts and ideas around how we approach youth mental health comprehensive services. So even if it's an idea that you're not crazy about, we just ask that you be mindful and be respectful of everybody's approaches to how we heal within our communities, especially our youth. If you need to step away for any reason, please take care of yourself and do so. We will catch you up when you come back in. All right, so why participatory budgeting? This is part of our centennial. We have had 100 years of impact and 100 years of so many amazing things that we've done. And the participatory process has come in at the last 3 years of our 100-year time period, where we are now more giving residents the opportunity to help us decide what to do with funding. And this allows us to bring voices to the table that ordinarily do not have that opportunity to share what they feel is happening and what they're concerned about within their communities. And so participatory budgeting is a way for us to do that. So what is participatory budgeting? So if you were not part of the first two sessions that we had on May 5th and 6th of this month, it's where residents come together, they decide a priority area, and they decide what asset that their community might need or what need they may have that they want to address. So we have $75,000 to put towards an idea. And so what the residents did, they came together. We had 2 days together. We broke bread. We were up at Camp Zerby for that. Residents showed up and they decided what they wanted to have that money focused on was comprehensive mental health services for ages 11 to 20. And so they defined that priority area, but then they also came up with the criteria for the letters of interest, or what we also know as requests for proposals. So that's 9 criteria. One is being able to offer no-cost mental health, either group sessions or one-to-one counseling, promoting mental health awareness. So we destigmatize this so that more people are able to feel comfortable in getting help when they need it. Providing mental health first aid skills training, offering enrichment that is accessible and includes the outdoors, creating opportunities for families to directly engage with mental health care providers. Also incorporating something that we offer here. It's a free data platform called the Life Needs Assessment. It allows our organizations who we partner with to be able to evaluate their outcomes and show impact. The LOI asked for including an outreach plan. So how will you do your outreach throughout the county to ensure that every youth is able to take advantage of this? Engage youth as partners and thought leaders. This is one notable thing that we did during May 5th and 6th is that we did have a few youth in the room, and they were a very strong guiding force on what they wanted to see happen. And we want to see more of that also happen. And the community decided that that was something that should be part of the criteria. And then demonstrate your outcomes. So that's your impact, but also what your outputs are, meaning the number of people served. So tonight's presenters, we have Oswego Health Foundation, and their project is titled Targeted Mental Health Services and Support for Oswego County Youth. This presentation will be conducted by Executive Director of the Oswego Health Foundation, Margaret Barkley, and Executive Director of the Mental Health Outpatient, Dr. Heather Cosgrove. And if I mess up anybody's titles or mess up any departments, please forgive me, a little bit of grace. And then we have Executive Director Rachel Hendricks from Haven of Hope and her colleague who is Jason JT Thiela, Care Coordinator, will also be presenting in the second presentation. And then we have Miss Doreen Bergman, who is the interim executive director of the Fulton Public Library, who will also be presenting. So with that, up first is Oswego Health Foundation, and I will stop sharing so that they're able to do that. And again, please hold your questions and feedback in the chat until they have completed the presentation, and then they'll be able to respond. Thank you so much, everybody.
All right, thank you. I will get my presentation up. Everybody see my screen? Okay, thank you so much for the privilege of presenting tonight. Obviously, mental health services are a big passion of mine and Margaret's and a focus of my career. I'm Heather Cosgrove. I'm the Director of Outpatient Mental Health Services for Oswego Health. I oversee all of our adult outpatient clinics as well as our youth clinic and our 15 school-based satellite sites. And we'll be focusing, of course, on talking about our youth locations in particular for this project. And then I'll let Margaret introduce herself as well.
Hi, I'm Margaret Barkley. I'm the Executive Director of the Oswego Health Foundation and feel very strongly about mental health services for adults and youth especially. So Heather's going to start.
I'll start us off. So today I want to be talking about the growing mental health needs that we're noticing for the youth population in Oswego County, services that we're already offering, as well as how a funding opportunity will help us expand those resources, including access, early intervention, and supportive programming, which we're noticing are the high need areas of our population. So I don't think we're a stranger. Having identified this as the key for the funding source for this year, no one's a stranger to the growing needs of mental health for our youth population. In Oswego Health, in our youth clinic alone, we served 535 children in 2025. That's through individual therapy as well as group therapy. We had over 4,000 visits across our clinics. And then our emergency department also sees a lot of pediatric emergent mental health emergencies because we're really, even though we're not a pediatric psych unit, we really are the kind of only show in town in Oswego in terms of a youth is experiencing a mental health crisis, they come to our ED. So we had about 247 pediatric mental health crisis visits in the emergency department. When you think about this, these are more than data points. These are families that are stressed, that are scared, that are feeling overwhelmed and looking for support. All of these data points are someone in need and asking for help. And that was just within 2025. So the demand has been increasing. We've been noticing themes of anxiety, depression, behavioral disorders, emotional distress. Trauma is certainly very prominent for a lot of the families that we're working with. A lot of schools and families are reporting increased behavioral concerns as well, which is why we have so many in the school-based team. Oswego County is uniquely rural, so we also encounter barriers for transportation in terms of families being able to access care at our clinics, especially for medication management or things like that, which is why we're located in so many of the schools. Provider shortages, it's getting harder to recruit therapists and to have them stay. There's financial hardship all over in terms of like changes with Medicare and insurance billing, but also just in general, like inflation, there's just more hardship for families nowadays. There's longer wait times to access care, in particular for medication, as well as any type of psychological assessments that someone might need. There's often months and months of a wait list. And then, of course, the ongoing stigma around mental health and even asking for services. For some families, that's just a foreign concept. And so being able to introduce them to this idea or have them have a good experience with mental health has been really critical for us and our goals. We currently offer a lot of services for youth. So we have our Center for Mental Health and Wellness for Youth located in Fulton. That is a full service clinic. We offer psychiatric assessments. We have medication providers on site. We offer individual, family, and group therapy. We offer family education and support. Parents are directly involved or guardians are directly involved in client care. They're putting input into the treatment plan. They're receiving their own kind of guidance and support. And if the family needs, if the adults in the family need emotional support as well, we can refer them to our adult clinic. So we really do try to support the entire family. School-based therapy services, we're currently operating in the full Fulton district, the full Hannibal district, most of the Oswego district, and then we recently expanded to City BOCES in Mexico because it was noted that there was a pretty significant mental health need there, and we wanted to make sure that students that were going to BOCES for the full day were able to access mental health care as well if they weren't going to be in the schools. We also have launched a teen wellness group and have plans, hopefully to launch even more groups, ideally in schools as well as our youth clinic. This group focuses on resilience, emotional wellness, coping skills, peer connection, stress management. It's just sort of a safe space for them to come and do like artwork or connect with others. Like it's a very isolating time, I think, in development for a lot of youth and teenagers, and having a space where they can come and just kind of be themselves and get that support has been really meaningful. So we're excited about that latest project.
I'm going to go over the project goals and expansion. With this, what our goal is to, if we receive this funding, this would support expanded access to care. We would hope to increase our school-based therapy services in other school districts, increase our newly created program at City BOCES, and then strengthen early intervention opportunities. We're also hoping to build community partnerships, and we've talked to the executive director of the Fulton YMCA about collaborating with her and some of the programs she runs, including their Girls Rock summer programming. And then we would love to increase our youth wellness programming, which would include outdoor and movement-based therapeutic activities, wellness education, and leadership and peer engagement opportunities. I think another area that we'd like to expand is increasing our ability to train our emergency department providers with the number of pediatric patients coming into our emergency department with behavioral health issues and in crisis. we plan to carry out these action steps and projects with expanded outreach and working with our collaborators and referral partners. We're looking forward to continuing our teen wellness groups, which I think have been very well received, increase family engagement and education, and then provide mental health first aid informed resources. And then, as I said earlier, really engage our youth as peer leaders and thought partners. And then, as always, we track our participation, outcomes, and feedback through a variety of ways. Mm-hmm.
So we anticipate being able to expand our programs, which would have a wide impact across the county. Our goal is to really serve over 600 youth annually and expand free and low-cost behavioral health support, particularly group programming, just having places and spaces where families and youth can come, where we work with them to get transportation there. They don't have to pay anything, and they get the emotional support that they need. The outcomes with therapy are common with stronger coping skills, emotional resilience, stress management, and healthier peer relationships. There's stronger family and community support through increased awareness of resources, mental health resources in Oswego County, reduced stigma around mental health treatment, and greater family engagement, ideally getting families to the clinics more or engaged with the schools more and supporting them so that they can maintain that engagement over time. We already collect a lot of data as an agency, and ways that we would evaluate that the program was meeting the needs of the population would be through measures such as seeing the number of youth that we're serving and in what capacity. Are they really gravitating towards groups? Are they gravitating towards therapy? How many crisis visits are we having per year? Referral trends, where are we getting referrals from? Our biggest referral network right now is within schools, but we're also trying to partner with primary care and maybe other places where families might be going and talking about mental health concerns. Attendance and retention within schools, as well as we do regularly survey our clients and our families to get an assessment of how our services are going and how they're feeling about our services.
And we, Oswego Health has really has been committed to this work for years. Oswego Health has been doing work in the mental health field for about 45 years, since 1981. So this is something that we feel strongly about, and we are continually working on. I know that I will continue to pursue grant opportunities. We have some wonderful people in our community and beyond that have been very generous to support these kinds of programs. And we're working on our community partnerships and really collaborating with a lot of different agencies and nonprofits in Oswego County. And we look to private foundations for support all year long. So we really, as an organization, Oswego Health feels, as I said, feels very strongly about working in this field and helping and supporting our youth that are struggling with mental health issues. And I think we don't want any child denied care, and that's we feel very strongly about that.
Yeah, just to kind of show potential impact for families who maybe don't have insurance or funding for mental health care. 125 visits were provided to uninsured youth. More than $18,000 were in uncompensated care, an additional $36,000 in unpaid balances from commercially insured patients. And the Oswego Health Foundation has targeted this and raised money to pay off some of this debt, to make sure that these families are still being able to access services and not have the financial hardship and stress that can come along with that. So in closing, we continue to want to invest in youth mental health and know that it changes lives. And this particular group is so vulnerable, and the support is so needed within the county. We're hoping by expanding our health services and supportive wellness programming, we can improve youth and families' emotional well-being, strengthen families, keep families together, reduce stigma, increase access to care, and help youth thrive. And one way that I wanted to highlight this is we actually have a quick story about a client who's seen in our school-based services. And I wanted to share that very quickly just to kind of highlight the impact that mental health can have for someone. So one of our school-based therapists shared this with me. She said, a youth came into school-based services with significant difficulty with peer relationships and frequent emotional outbursts in the classroom. Much of what he was experiencing came from a deep struggle to understand and express his emotions in a safe way. At school, this showed up as frustration, conflict, and moments where he was overwhelmed and couldn't communicate. Over the next 5 months, something began to shift. Through consistent support and practice, he started learning new ways to recognize what he was feeling and how to express it using words and coping strategies instead of reacting in distress. Slowly, these skills began to show up in real time within his classroom. He began engaging more appropriately with peers, communicating, and showing a growing ability to pause and regulate when things were hard. One of his teachers shared a simple but powerful observation. I don't know what you do with him in there, but the days he sees you, he's amazing. Behind this statement is a bigger story of connection. School-based therapy created a space for the student to be supported where he already was without barriers to access. It also allowed therapists, teachers, and school staff to work together in real time, sharing insight and building a consistent approach to his needs throughout the day. In many rural communities, access to services can be limited, making this type of embedded support especially meaningful. For this student, it meant having a safe place to process emotions, learn skills, and be met by a team of adults who are working together to understand him rather just respond to his behavior. What emerged over time was not just improved behavior, but a child beginning to feel more understood and capable and connected in his school environment. This collaborative approach continues to show how powerful it can be to support when you meet a child exactly where they are. And that is our beautiful school-based team. And that's the end of our presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Cosgrove and Margaret. I'm sorry that I think there was a little bit of interference. I don't know if it was a phone ringing, but thank you so much for sharing that. So I want to just give a little applause there because that was a lot and you guys are doing some amazing stuff.
Thank you.
So now we would like to open it up to our folks to put questions in the chat for our first presenters, please. So I'm sure folks are going to have some questions and some feedback. And I am timing everyone. So presentations are 10 minutes long and the Q&A is about 3 to 5 minutes. And we're just looking at the chat to see. Oh, I know you guys got questions.
And I think there's a very noisy bird outside my window. So that you might have heard some noise from me.
Okay, no worries. So there is a question from Kayla Bateman. For school-based expansion, would that be broadening the programs already offered in the districts or new schools? I know Liberty is in the other, so unsure on what that would look like. That's the first question.
Yeah, that's a great question. And yes, Liberty is in the other school districts as well. So the plan would be to expand in current districts. We definitely have some districts that have wait lists. There's a lot of demand. Some schools just have kind of a higher need than others. And we have been asked historically if we would be able to multiple staff members there. Our new partnership with City BOCES, they've also asked about possibility of having medication management on site there because they're somewhat far away from our clinic, as well as maybe primary care options. So those are all things that we're looking at in terms of expanding access to care in the current school districts we're in.
Thank you. I have another question from Chena Tucker. How will you engage out-of-school youth?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we see many youth that are either like suspended or homeschooled at our actual physical location in Fulton, New York. And the way that we access those families, we actually have a really fabulous marketing team who, whenever we have new resources or this group that we're running, they push it to all of our community partners, and we make really great flyers and we try to engage folks that way. Our emergency department also has access to all of our services and frequently makes referrals to our clinics. We often see most of the youth that are seen in the emergency department are then assessed by our therapists in the clinic. So we catch them that way as well.
Thank you. We have a question from Carla Deshaw. How many school districts are participating? Carla, for clarification, is that currently or the anticipated expansion? Maybe you can answer both.
Yeah, I can answer both. So
Thank you.
it would probably remain three school districts, even with expansion. It would just be multiple therapists within school districts or expanding services. So right now we're in three. We're in Hannibal, Fulton, and Oswego school districts, and then we're also at City Boces in Mexico. And there's potential to expand in many of those sites. So we would be looking to perhaps include medication management or something like that on top of therapy services.
Okay. Yeah, the question was the anticipated number of
Mhm.
extra districts. Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. These are great
Yeah.
questions. We still have time for more for the first presenters, Oswego Health. I know there's one more. Maybe someone's just not sure how they want to ask it. There we go. This question comes from Kayla Bateman. For medication management, would they need to see the main clinic or right on site?
Yeah, so right now they do have to come to the main clinic for medication management, and a goal of expanding would be to either have someone be able to travel to some of the schools, split their time, or to have it located, especially in our more rural districts like Hannibal or Mexico.
Okay. RAC says if staying within those districts, how do you anticipate to reach youth outside those districts?
Yeah, that's a great question. So probably similar to the marketing plan for youth that aren't engaged in school. We're expanding into, like, we have a new primary care clinic in Clay and Onondaga County. We regularly interact with Cayuga County as well. So we try to get marketing materials out to other areas. So folks that aren't familiar with Oswego Health or maybe only know like Liberty or Connects to Care, we're trying to get our name out a little bit more, so that like we're more top of mind.
And I think too, our primary care providers across Oswego Health
Yeah,
refer to our Center for Mental Health and Wellness for Youth in Fulton for any family, for anyone who comes.
yeah, right. And that's in Central Square, Pulaski, like a lot of other areas as well.
We have about 50 seconds for this Q&A. If there's not any other questions, just let's give another round of applause to our first presenters. Thank you guys so much.
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
Oswego
much.
Health.
Yeah.
Thank you. And it is very exciting that the Central New York Community Foundation is celebrating 100 years. So thank you.
Thank you.
What a way to celebrate.
Yes, thank you. All right, up next is Haven of Hope, Executive Director Rachel Hendricks and Care Coordinator JT Thiela. Oh, I think there, yeah, there you are. Oh, that ringing is coming back.
Did we lose Rachel?
Sorry about that, guys. A
Yeah.
little computer malfunction.
No worries. Does
Okay.
anyone else hear ringing by any chance, like a phone or anything? I could be wrong. Maybe it's me. All right, could be
Nope.
my computer.
All right. So my name is Rachel Hendricks. A little over a year ago, we started a program called Haven of Hope in an effort to keep people out of the winter weather. And that has expanded into something so much more broad. I don't see my share button here for some reason. Is there, Kenna, is there a way that you can help me to share this?
I
To
sure
share map?
can. Yep, hang on
I
just a
only see
second.
record.
All right, hang on a minute.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. I'm gonna pull
So
it
we
up.
recognize the need to keep people out of the winter weather from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and started this program with different activities, support groups, Bible studies, activities out in the community. And now we have our very own location and drop-in center where we help people experiencing crises from either substance use disorder or mental health, and especially homelessness. So our goal with Project Park is the positive approach to reaching kids. We're hoping to be more of a prevention method. We see a lot of families that are living in the hotels. We see a lot of families that are living with other family members, a lot of displaced families, and they have children that are displaced, and they're experiencing a lot of mental health conditions just from the isolation itself out in a hotel. It's not the best spot for children. We see a lot of bullying, a lot of school stress. My own daughter, a couple of years ago, was bullied so badly that we decided to pull her from school, and we ended up homeschooling, and that helped so much. Um, Not being able to share my own screen is throwing me off here. So our goal over the summer is to really reach out to some of the camps, some of the hotels where we see most people, our families. Sorry, Kiana, I know this is throwing everything off.
No
Um,
worries. Just tell me when you want me to advance the slide. I do
Perfect.
apologize. If you do look at the bottom bar and you click more, you might be able to see the share function there. Just maybe that
It,
might work, but it's
it isn't showing it,
no.
which
Okay.
is strange.
That's okay. I
But
got you.
that's
I got
okay.
you.
We can go with the flow.
Okay.
No problem. So our goal is to access the kids over the summer specifically because they're going to be they're going to be at these hotels. We really want to um, prevent the mental health crises, prevent the homelessness. Um, Can you go to the next slide, please? Thank you. We want to do that at a no cost to the families, no cost to the community. Right now, we're already working on a volunteer basis, so we have no problem doing things for free. Um, we hope to have some group therapy sessions revolving around divorce, homelessness, parents that are using substances, parents with mental health crises. We really want to educate the youth about what can happen later on if some things aren't prevented. Um, our community connection, we plan to do a lot of events. We currently do a lot of events, and we want to bring the youth into those events and educate them. We work a lot with a lot of different agencies, and so we want to collaborate to bring this information to our youth. Um, can you go to the next slide, please? Thank you. So over the summer, our goal is to reach out to kids over the summer to establish the connection so that when school does start, kids feel confident enough to come to us and come to our programs. The mental health first aid, we really want to use peers, youth peers to communicate with the groups and talk about their own life experiences and what's led them to where they are and how they handled, say, suicide ideation or their divorce or their homelessness. Over the course of the last year, we've seen a lot more of 18 to 20 youth that are homeless. They've been either kicked out because of behaviors or their family just doesn't want to deal with them anymore is really what it comes down to. And we do. We want to see them. We want to see them succeed. So if we can reach them from 11 to 18 when it's time to move out on their own, perhaps we can really um, help prevent them from becoming homeless or having these mental health crises. Thank you. um, we're hoping to do some group presentations to gather some feedback. We want to know what the kids think, what they need. There's a lot of camps, summer camps, and a lot of different activities we can go to them to recruit peer ambassadors. And let me see. I'm feeling like over the summer we can create a solid program that when the school starts, we'll be able to integrate it into the school system with the counselors, with the outside agencies, with, say, CPS or maybe probation or parole. We're really hoping to partner so that we can build a stronger program. Let's see. All right, so this is our 12-month implementation timeline. We hope to spend 1 or 2 months planning. We really want to launch during the summer, so not too much planning because we've already started that. And then the summer launch, a lot of activities at the parks or different events. We partner a lot with Catholic Charities, OCO, Jason's House, DSS. So we're hoping to kind of collaborate with them to introduce Project Park. Jay, did you have something you wanted to add?
Absolutely. Hi, everyone. My name is JT. I'm a care coordinator at Haven Hope. Since partnering with Rachel, we really have been focusing so much on preventative. Um, Project Park is so much more than just an acronym. Project Park, as a disabled veteran, I'll give you an example. When this project came out for us to bid on, to present, it was right around the time when the carnivals were announcing they were coming in for Memorial Day. Now, as a disabled veteran, my daughter already knows that my daddy's different, right? My daddy can't go to fireworks, right? So, but we've normalized that for her, and we've helped their friends normalize it. And so, Project Park is getting to these communities. Another example with the carnival, three of her friends couldn't go because their parents couldn't afford it, right? So we wanted to create these wonderful community events where we can have mental health awareness in a safe, neutral zone, and provide this free entertainment to make mental health exciting, to remove stigma. My daughter's 7, and it's so amazing. I get so much strength from her, watching her be so normal about my daddy can't be around fireworks. So I've helped remove that stigma, and it was such a surreal feeling for me as a veteran, to reignite that passion again, and to look forward to taking care of our youth. I mean, our youth is our future. These are our future leaders, our future presidents, our future, mayors. These are the foundations of which we're building on now. And I really was so excited that we could go into every single school district, provide these community events at no cost to the family. We recently partnered with a community counselor. She's a clinical counselor who has a strong background in CPS and family reintegration. And we're going to partner with her to create age-appropriate education, videos, DVDs. So we're not just talking about going in, throwing up some inflatables. We're going to go into these communities and be a part of them. We're going to help them remove the stigmas. We're hoping to see an increase in school attendance. One of the big things I talked to the guidance counselor at my daughter's school is that these kids are missing school because they're being bullied, right? So we're going to be able to hopefully see those matrices improve, kids excited about going to school again. And this project really lit a passion in my heart. And if you could, give us an opportunity, I really think that we can prove. We work within the jails. We do a lot of discharge planning with the discharge planners there. I think we've seen families in such a displaced state. Homelessness is up to an astronomical rate. This last season, I had the privilege of not just working with Rachel at Haven of Hope, but working with Victory at the homeless shelter. So we served 182 different men and women throughout the season for a total of 726 beds that were filled throughout that season, different times, different quantities, from 2 guys and gals all the way up to 26. And the same thing is always being said: my child's here, my daughter is here, my son is here. And your heart goes out to them, and you want to bring them together. So we want to help normalize. I hate to use that word. We want to help remove the stigma of some of these barriers that these kids are facing. Divorced parents. My daughter's a divorced child. That's another stigma we removed, as a family. We want to help bring that to the community. So I get long-winded a lot. So I thank you for the time to speak. I thank you. I speak to you, your hearts, and thank you for the time.
Wonderfully said. Thank you so much, JT. As you can see, we're very passionate about this. We've seen so many families, and we've seen so many families that are now having more children, and those children they want to keep them with them. A lot of the times, we see the families whose their kids have been adopted out, or they're in foster families. So now we're seeing another generation of kids come through with our current clients, and we want to work with them as a family, as a whole, so that they can remain mentally well, physically well, all around well. So this is our budget. We were planning to do a lot of events. We really want to do a lot of events. It's really what draws people at the different parks, at the different camps. And something unique that we were thinking of doing was a youth scholarship. So we were thinking of having children submit essays talking about their mental health, talking about, you know, what they've been through, where they're going, their hopes and dreams, and then we can present them with a scholarship. Um, Jay, what did you call them? Haven's
Hey,
Heroes?
hey, heroes.
Haven's Heroes. So, and we can do all of that with engagement materials and all the stuff that we all know we need: engagement materials, educational content, staffing. Like Jay was saying, we have partnered with other agencies and other counselors that are really excited about this opportunity. So our objectives, we just want to increase awareness, reduce stigma. It's pretty much what we've been doing with the adults, and now we want to do it with the kids before they become adults that are in crisis. We really want to get to all the schools, work with therapy sessions. We're hoping to improve help seeking. People know that it's okay. Kids to know that it's okay to ask for help, know that it's okay to talk about suicidal ideation or their parents being divorced. We really want to reduce that stigma so that kids feel that they can come to us and go to their parents. All around, that's going to help the entire family and in the long run help the community. So let's see. First year builds the model relationships, proof of impact, need for long-term continuation. Whether or not we get this grant, we're hoping to continue to do this work because it's a huge passion of ours, both having children that have been through mental health crises. So we're going to continue to reaching out to the schools, continue partnerships, continue to use that curriculum that we come up with, and always pursue grants, sponsorships, fundraising. We're always going to continue to do those because we want to see this work continue. All of us are trained in de-escalation, sensitivity, Narcan training. We're all trained in these, and we want to pass that information down, that knowledge down, to expand the knowledge within the community. The proactive investment in Oswego County youth. We really are very interested in being proactive so that when kids grow up, they know how to manage situations and become leaders themselves, to reduce that stigma, create access, and help prevent crises before it begins. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel and JT. And thank you so much for sharing your lived experience with this. It's not always easy to be vulnerable in spaces like this and share what your lived experiences that have inspired you to do this work in the first place. So now we'd love to open it up for questions. Paris or Moati, would you guys like to read from the chat this time? I don't mind sharing the work. Paris?
Yeah, no problem. Feel free to throw your questions in the chat. All right. So first question from Laurel Elliott. Do you have a plan to get youth to these events if they don't have transportation?
Absolutely. We partner with New York Transportation and taxi services, and I believe that Danny is on this call somewhere. And so we can absolutely set up transportation for anybody that's in need of it. The transportation in Oswego County has through mobility management has, thanks, Danny, has grown considerably. So I'm not worried about transportation. That we've got covered for sure.
Another
Great.
question in the chat is, do you have events planned and scheduled at this time already?
We do not, but we're not afraid to. So we have our new drop-in center that we just finished moving into today, and plan to schedule events on a weekly basis and to grow within the community and the families that we serve.
And question number 3, how many youth do you presently serve, and how many more would you desire to serve?
I would say that, Jay, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'd say that we have about 18 to 20-year-olds that we've seen come through our program. And then we have 16 families that we've recently housed. And I'd very much like to get to those families and talk to their youth and then there's all the families that are in all the hotels. We hope to get to all of them too.
I mean, in the first 30 days, we house the 16 families. We have another, 40 or 50 on our caseload right now.
Mhm.
We're trying to do, between 16 and 20 families per month. Getting
Mhm.
them moved in, getting them complete furniture, brand new furniture, top to bottom, left to right. Um, Getting them transportation grants to use for outings, go visit their family. Places that Access Oswego won't go. We have clients in Rome, and New York Transportation has really gone out of their way to accommodate us and getting those all taken care of. That's why when Rachel said transportation is not a problem, it really isn't a problem. They have a great management team over there and a barrage of employees always willing to answer the call. And we even transported the homeless the entire winter. We transported them from the shelter to Haven of Hope back to the shelter. They never had to walk 5 feet in the ice due to our program and due to New York Transportation.
One person asked, where is your drop-in center?
So we just moved to East 3rd Street in Oswego. We're at 57 East 3rd. It's right across the street from the Thrifty Shopper parking lot, kind of in the middle of everything. We have the Lobdell Center for Mental Health and Wellness. The food pantry is at one street down. Second Chances is around the corner. So we're right in the middle of a bunch of services that already exist, which is pretty cool.
Awesome. And we still have 2 more questions. Are there any licensed mental health professionals that work with you, or is it all volunteer and peer support based?
So we are currently all volunteer and peer support based. However, we do have some mental health professionals that are interested in volunteering their time. Licensed mental health professionals. Yes.
And those are the ones that we will consult with for the age appropriate content.
Mm-hmm.
The last question so far is also, once connected, what does ongoing work look like with them? Is it always drop in, or is there weekly or monthly contact?
I would say that there's probably weekly contact. We reach out to families all the time, catch up with them, see how they're doing. We can go to them if we need to. So it's probably going to be based on each family, based on each individual. Maybe somebody wants to call every day. We have people that call every day and just to say hi and check in. So it's going to basically, I would say that it's going to be on a case by case chance, but as much as anybody needs, really.
Okay, we got about I don't know, 30 seconds. Are there any more questions for Haven of Hope for Rachel and Jason? Okay, again, just another round of applause. Thank you guys so much for your presentation.
Thank
And
you.
now up for presenter 3, we have the Fulton Public Library, the Interim Executive Director, Doreen Bergman. Doreen, are you muted?
Yes, I am unmuted now. Thank you.
All
You'd
right.
think years of doing Zooms, we would have get this right. So what I had said was thank you for having us tonight. I'm very excited to be here. And congratulations on the proposals from our two other organizations. I am already thinking of ideas and ways in which we can all collaborate, regardless of how this vote goes. But I'm here to talk to you about the Youth Ambassador Wellness Network that we are proposing, but we'll move forward with in many different ways. So our vision is really to provide mental health support for all youth ages 11 to 20. We recognize a lot of times, right, that youth in crisis turn to their friends, but they don't necessarily have the skills to support their friends. So we really want to empower our youth in leadership. So while my slides are very wordy, which goes against everything I know as being a professional learning provider, I wanted you to have access to everything if you choose to look back. But I'm just going to give you the highlights. So, our rationale in prioritizing the Youth Ambassador Wellness Network is we here at the library have witnessed a shift in our role as a community anchor, right? Libraries were once just repositories for books, maybe some programming, maybe a few things, but we see more and more families, youth, and teens seeking safety and connection, a place where they feel welcomed, they feel affirmed, they feel safe, and they can come in and share their own ideas with how they want our programs. We have a teen advisory board that have really come up with some great ideas, and we really want to grow that leadership amongst our teams. So in our application and our proposal, we're really looking at that peer first reality, right? I've mentioned 50% of teenagers turn to their peers before a parent or professional help. We know that there's a stigma with mental health that one of our other presenters talked a little bit about that we also want to remove, right? Many youth across not just Oswego County, but the nation really view traditional clinical settings as intimidating. And by embedding mental health supports in the library and offering programming, it's really a no judgment environment where they can be themselves. And we also know that outdoor programming allows us to really use nature as a healing opportunity. Turning off the screens, getting outside, can really help with the anxiety and depression and the connection, not only to the outside, but with each other that we're hoping to use as we move forward with our programming. So here are our key program pillars. So number one, it's youth as leaders. So we plan on engaging 15 youth ambassadors between the ages of 14 and 20 who will earn teen health mental first aid certification. And they'll serve as thought partners and leaders who co-design teen wellness initiatives to ensure that it resonates with their peers. So that's really one of the first pillars. The second pillar of our proposal is our strategic relationships, uniting the community, right? Some people already talked about some of the organizations. We currently partner with the YMCA. We were there at their Girls Rock program last week. The theme was women empowerment, which is really important, right? And we partner with OCO, the Clubhouse. We want to continue to partner with organizations across the entire county. And one of the unique opportunities as libraries is we already have a network in each of the towns across Oswego County, and that's with the public library systems themselves. In every one of our townships, there is a public library that can help us reach out, recruit teams, work on programming, and hold programmings in different places across the county. So those strategic partnerships are an important pillar. Talking about wellness in the wild as well. we believe healing can happen outdoors, right? So our Wellness in the Wild series will offer monthly accessible nature hikes, outdoor activities designed to reduce stress. And you see those pictures. We have so many awesome opportunities across our entire county. We have Camp Zerby, we have Camp Hollis, we have Camp Tallulah, we have the Great Bear Recreation Center, we have Selkirk stores, bringing kids together to promote mental clarity outside. And of course, opportunities for fun and laughter, right? Feeling comfortable, getting to know each other, getting to know new people is a really important piece in this for people that are comfortable, but also engaging kids and adults and their families in real opportunities that are authentic for connection. And then the other pillars that we're talking about is family support. So we also want to do monthly bridge workshops that provide a relaxed environment, right, for families to engage directly with mental health providers. So guest speakers, presenters from some of the organizations that you heard from tonight, helping families understand what's available to them across the entire county to help them in whatever ways that they may need, and also breaking down generational stigmas. Children, teens, families learning with and from each other can only make positive connection and relationships grow. And the library is just one of those places that we feel we can provide not only the space, but the time, and with this grant, some funding to really help our families connect in ways they haven't been able to in the past. I'm going to talk just briefly about our project timeline. We really broke it down into a 4-phase implementation, right? Because we want to make sure that we're maximizing the impact of a $75,000 investment that we hope the community with their vote entrusts us with. So phase 1 is recruitment. So before the school year's out, really working with school districts. We are in Fulton, so the Fulton City School District, other youth, Oswego youth organizations, and public libraries. And we're going to promote really a high visibility recruitment campaign for the 15 youth ambassadors. We're also going to stipend those ambassadors because we know that time is money and money is time, and we want to make sure that their time and their efforts, that we value that by providing those stipends. So we will finalize that cohort of peer leaders before the academic year to ensure student commitment for the work that's got to happen over the summer. And that includes phase 2. So that's conducting teen mental health first aid training for all ambassadors. It also includes space and curation, right? Creating a teen space and a specialized collection of mental health and wellness resources. Right now, we already have a program in place. We call it our bibliotherapy bags, where we have bags with resources and books and activities based on different issues that families, teens, and students might be dealing with, such as the loss of a pet, such as bullying. So we have these in place, but be able to grow those resources would be absolutely amazing. And it's something that's sustainable. And then, of course, we want to solidify partnerships over the summer. The foundation is the partnerships across the county, working with community youth organizations, as well as our parks and recreation leaders for programming and consultation for the Wellness in the Wild series. Phase 3 is really the project launch and outdoor enrichment that will begin in late summer and go through the fall. So we're going to do 2 monthly programs that are peer-led wellness programs. And that's where those youth ambassadors come in to really help us as the architects of mental wellness support for their peers. So doing 2 twice monthly programming The Wellness in the Wild will kick off with a series of guided nature hikes and outdoor grounding activities. And then, of course, we're going to use that life needs assessment to establish community wellness benchmarks by administering that tool. And then phase 4 is sustained operations and evaluation. So from December on, we're going to host those monthly bridge workshops to connect families with the mental health providers that are across the country. We're going to quarterly review the data to adjust programming based on the emerging youth needs. And then we're going to really do some legacy planning, right? Final evaluation of outputs, the number of students we serve in the grant program itself, as well as the measurable impact. And that will help us prepare a roadmap for program sustainability. So I'm not going to read all these. These are here for you. There's a QR code. There was on the first page, and there'll be one I'll share at the end. But these are the primary activities. Teen mental health first aid certification, leadership, right? Making sure those ambassadors meet as a creative board to design the programming that's going to be offered, and then planning the outdoor excursions. Really, the cornerstone of the project is the professionalism of youth peer support. We also are going to do the bridge workshops. We're going to create a bigger, more robust community resource hub, have, if you will, a wellness vault of books and resources and, apps, activities, local emergency contact lists, those types of things that people will have access to. And then that circle of support, which is kind of something I've wanted to do for a while now, is a teen podcast by teens, for teens from the Fulton Public Library, both a newsletter and a podcast. We're also going to get continuous feedback using the tool, and then impact mapping, right? We talk about social and emotional learning. We want to make sure we're moving the needle. So I just went through the priority steps, and then this is a slide that just shows our action steps, where we're going to recruit, our partnerships, how we're going to design the intensive this summer, and making sure kids are certified in teen mental health, as well as a staff member here at the library getting trained in being able to provide that training for youth as we move into different cohorts for sustainability. So we talked a little bit about the rest of this already. A grant's not a grant if you're not evaluating it. So we're going to use quantitative metrics, and that's really how many teen mental health first aid certifications are completed, circulation frequency of those wellness kits, assessments both pre and post of those that take part in programs, as well as community referral tracking. I think a big piece of this for the Fulton Public Library is that we've been here 120 years and hopefully 120 more. So we really want to capitalize on the sustainability of this program. So really institutionalizing that peer leadership, right? The $75,000 provides the initial spark for a cohort model that we want to continue. The train the trainer model, making sure we have a staff member on staff as a teen mental first aid instructor, so we can certify new cohorts of youth ambassadors, and then providing more volunteer pathways, right? Our grant, your grant, if you entrust us with it, we'll be able to provide stipends as well. So being able to do that. And future ambassadors, if we can't do stipends because there's no funding, which we think there will be, they could earn community service hours and earn civic readiness diploma seals for as they move forward towards graduation. The resource curation, we'll have to continually update that, but this will give us a really good start. We will have the ambassadors work with our team to create a digital playbook so that as new cohorts come on, they can continue to add to the playbook. And then luckily, we already have community support, and we have a very robust Friends of the Fulton Public Library that already provide us with some funding, and hopefully they can support some of the things that are more consumable for teen programs, like food and transportation and issues like that moving forward after the grant funds end. So that's my presentation. I just want to thank everybody again. And I guess I can stop sharing, and this is where we open for questions.
Thank you, Doreen. Thank you. Great presentation. And I think someone already got started with some questions. So how many youth are on your current teen advisory board and how were they recruited?
So it's really been outreach through the Fulton School District. It ebbs and flows. We had more, it used to be more robust. Over the past probably 6 months, we've had a lot of transition in some team members here. So our Fulton Public Library Director Caroline Chatterton moved on to a different position. We have a newer who just started in January, youth and community outreach person. So we're back into building that up. So at any time, there's between 3 and 10 youths that's come to the board meetings.
Thank you. Are there other questions for the Fulton Public Library's Teen Ambassador Program? Okay. What would recruitment look like?
So I think right now, what we had planned on doing, if we get the grant, is immediately reach out. We already have relationships within the Fulton City School District with their executive directors. So reaching out to them and connecting with social workers in the schools, as well as guidance counselors to help us make recommendations. We would also use our youth community youth organizations and some of our partners maybe that are here tonight to recommend youth that might want to sit on that board, as well as making sure that we have representation from around the county. So working with our other public librarians as liaisons to their school districts to see if we can have some youth of that 15. Maybe we can have 20, depending, right? The more the merrier, as members from across the community, the county.
Okay. Are there other questions? I know we can get a third. It's like an auction.
I don't know if it's good or bad. I don't have questions, but
Exactly. Maybe it was just that thorough, which is great, you know. All right. Hang on a second. All right. So it's you mentioned a space. Would that space be in Fulton or would it be more centrally located?
I would ideally like to see some space in every county, every town library across the region. But I also think space is limited, and it's true here at this. So it might be working with community partners as well. With the CYO, we've talked with the CNY Art Center, and that's really create spaces with sensory areas and that for our teen ambassadors, but all other teens that come in. So definitely a space here at the Fulton Public Library, but also hopefully
There.
satellite issue.
I got my mic undone. Hi.
Sorry, Doreen, did you want to finish?
No, I didn't know what that was, but yeah.
Okay.
So having those community spaces, helping our other public libraries as well. One of the nice things about public libraries is that we have, a courier that goes between all of our libraries so we can rotate some of those, things from the wellness vault. So whether they're bibliotherapy bags that deal with anxiety, depression, bullying, they can be in different areas of the county at any given time, as well as some of the activity, sensory boards, things like that we might want to do that. We currently have some sensory space that we've set up, and we are creating a neurodiversity club as well. So helping and working with our other county public libraries to ensure that we can share the backbone of libraries is resource sharing. So it's not unique to this program. It's what we do.
Thank you. We have time for one more question, and that is, do you have any plans to help youth with transportation to and from events?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And that's something in the grant we did put funds in there, especially for transportation. We know that we don't necessarily have a Fulton Library bus that we can use, but we know some of our community partners, like OCO with the Clubhouse program, they bring kids to us. We can maybe partner with them a little bit, but we did put funds into the grant for transportation purposes, especially for the wilderness and the wild, because I think that it's something that we need to be very aware of. We can't ask families to do that. And we certainly don't want young drivers taking other participants in vehicles.
Thank you. I have this annoying ringing that keeps happening, and I'm hoping you guys don't hear it on my end, but it's never happened to me before. So, any case, thank you again. Another round of applause for the presentation and for sharing all the great work that you do. And now we are coming down to the last bit of information we want to share with everyone. So all three of our presenters are going to be on the ballot for the Oswego County PB election tomorrow. Starting at 9 a.m., the election will open and it will close at 7 p.m. I am going to put the election link in the chat for everybody, and I'm also going to share my screen because tomorrow, in addition to the voting day, there is a celebration that's going to happen at the Children's Museum of Oswego County, which is an amazing space. If you haven't been there, please go. Let's make sure we support them as much as possible, but they will be hosting us starting at 5 p.m. There'll be food. There's a children's book author that will be doing some book signings. There is, I think, 2 or 3 levels of amazing funness, STEM, STEAM, hands-on activities for families to come and enjoy. The museum will be open to everyone and it'll be at no cost. They will be doing a membership giveaway. So there is one lucky or 2 lucky families that get to walk away with a family membership. And so if you all can see my screen, the election link to go and see the ballot of all 3 of tonight's presenters, which is Oswego Health Foundation, Haven of Hope, and the Fulton Public Library. This will be open tomorrow at 9 a.m. And then we would love it, love it, love it if you could please share along with the link, the election link, the Eventbrite registration. We want to really see Oswego show up tomorrow night, and we want to leave that up to you to please do that. So I don't know, I'm sorry, I may have
Yep.
forgotten to put the registration link in the
All the links are in the chat, ready to
awesome.
go.
Oh, you're the best, Paris. Thank you. So with that, we are super excited. We are now towards the voting day, and good luck to each of the presenters. But as some of you already said earlier, there's just an immense opportunity to also partner with each other. And so that's a win-win no matter what happens. But wishing each of you success in your organizations. And we'll see what happens tomorrow night. The announcement will be made at 7:15 p.m. The polls will close at 7. So looking forward to seeing everybody there. Please share on all your social media, throughout your networks, word of mouth. Also, for some reason, us humans still, that's the biggest way to get the word out. Don't know why, but that's just the way it is. So that's it for this evening. Want to thank everybody, thank our sponsors. John Ben and Elizabeth Snow for this process. Want to thank all of Central New York Community Foundation staff and our leaders that made this possible, and to all of you, the residents at Oswego County, who made this possible and made this process such an amazing first launch out of all of the counties. So y'all were the first ones, and we'll be moving on to Madison soon. But we would just want to extend our thanks and gratitude for you all welcoming us in. And this is not the last time you'll see or hear of us. You will be seeing us table, seeing events, all kinds of things. So we'll keep the relationship growing and getting better. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.